stochastics on this. Yeah, the stochastics on this, breaking all the way down to the oversold level, and then oversold level here too. And but this time stochastics is staying relatively elevated. So that's one thing in the favor of the bulls. Now, looking at the VIX, this is the the volatility index, and it pushed up to almost 3 standard deviations of its range, and it has this big wick. And a lot of times when you get these big wicks, it usually means the reversal is coming. And I'd be in that camp, and I was really close to shorting, with VXX puts on Friday, but I held off because one thing I'm worried about is right here. So this is the VIX and the 3-month VIX, and when this thing gets to 1 or higher, that means you're looking at a flat line, and if it goes above 1, it's considered backwardation, meaning that there's fear close in and that there's still selling occurring. And the thing is too that the carry traders, the volatility carry traders, have nothing to carry because they like to sell close and buy far, and then that way they can force the algorithms to see that risk is falling, and that means the risk managers allow more buying of the indexes. When it's elevated like this, it actually forces selling, or at least don't buy. And then you see that kind of in the action at the end of the day. And the end of the day on Friday wasn't very bullish in my view. So we also have options expiration coming up. And so one of the things that I'm looking at now is that the VIX has been so shorted. There was some articles I saw on Twitter. Some guys put together some graphs that show the short interest on TVIX is like 16 million shares or some crazy number like that. And if those guys get squeezed out, that's going to force the VIX higher. So I'm watching that to see if that's going to force any kind of selling going into the August options expiration. And then we still have to wait to see if China, the games they may play. Really, the only card the Chinese have really is to devalue their currency. So Trump will match them tick for tick on everything else, and the Chinese have more to lose than we do, but it just will cause uncertainty. But if they devalue their currency, this happened in 2015, and it caused an 18% market correction within 6 weeks, and then 3 months later we followed on with another big correction going into the end of the year. So that's the only thing I have to watch out for. The Chinese know that Trump likes to talk about the stock market, and they may think, hey, this is one way we can get rid of them, but maybe we could force a market crash in the U.S. I noticed Trump started changing his tune here on the stock market, basically saying, hey, what's more important now is protection of jobs, our people, blah, blah, blah. So he knows it's coming. That has me a little bit on the worried side. So just keep an eye on that. And then there's another chart I want to show you. It's pretty cool. This is the VIX to SPY ratio. And this is the long-term average on this. And it's starting to elevate too. But it has a ways to go. Even if we match these corrections in May, it is that there is we could still push the SPY down a little bit more. We can elevate VIX a little bit more too. And one thing about volatility that people probably don't realize is that once people start to buy protection, they don't always feel they need to sell their equities. So it kind of self-corrects over time. I equate it to like dynamic insurance. A hurricane's coming to your town. You could buy the insurance, and then as soon as you think it's not going to hit your town, you could sell back whatever cash value is left. That's how I view the VIX, is that people will bid it up as they need it, but as soon as they don't need it, they'll dump it, and they'll hold their equities. Or what happens is VIX gets elevated, people were in, they close their equities position. That's the worst kind, because then they bought protection, they close their equity position, and then they're going to let the market go down lower. So, but we're still in this downtrend line, and this can get pretty high. Okay, so this is just the beginning of the year, where the VIX SPY ratio hit 0.2, and if you see here, this goes back to the that's all they're gonna let me do here. So back in 2015 it went even higher, and let me just go show you the VIX here. Okay, so let me go down to a weekly just to show you how high the VIX can get. A lot of people who are trading a long time know this, but you usually get 2 good spikes every year, and then you get 4 smaller spikes that are just good to trade. But I mean, look at 2008. I mean, this thing got up to 90. Okay, now if you're in the situation here where this thing hits like this, and you bought VXX, or back at the time bought XIV, XIV didn't come out 2011, but you would have bought VIX puts or VXX puts or whatever instrument was available, then you would have had a great year going into 2010. And as this sold off, this is what helped fuel the stock market rise. But you can see here it goes down, boom, boom. It's like a cardiac patient. All right. And if you notice here, which is really interesting to me, ever since the middle of 2017, on average, the VIX has been slowly rising. And so my expectation is that we had one in 18, we had one in 19. Could this be the one for 2019 to hit? I don't know yet. I think this one may fade away, and we're going to get a bigger one, because I think the selling the dip's going to be bought, and then once that dip is bought, then it's going to roll over, and that's where we're going to get the bigger move down. But that's what I'm looking at now. But I'm just kind of playing it day by day, and I'm just going to watch VXX here. Let me go back to the 4 hour, because that's what I'm trading against, and I'm just watching. So the money flow maxed here, and just so people who are subscribing, this is just a stochastic I'm using for volatility, so I don't change any of my other my settings. I'm just I'm looking for something a little bit quicker, because volatility moves so fast and so elevated. But I'll be calling out a trade on this as soon as I think it's ready. And now chances are Monday it starts coming down, but I just have a feeling that this might be an F flag and we get another burst higher, and then we can then take a look at it after that. But anyway, it's Bob, Trade Genius. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be back with a lot more stuff this weekend. Just a lot is in motion. The things that we like I think are in pretty good shape: gold and crypto, silver and crypto, silver miners and crypto, gold miners and crypto. You get my point. Everything else is really struggling. And then we're talking about shorting the banks. I'll talk about that too. There was a trade already this week, and I think that's just going to be the beginning. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.